2022. So or 2023. My apologies. So yeah, man, it's been a while. It's
Long time coming.
Yeah.
So you are an East Coast guy. Frederick, Maryland is where you from. All right. So first and foremost, your boy's a Steelers fan. Are you a Ravens fan? I mean, it's kind of hard not to be, right? It's kind of hard.
Yeah.
But let me save myself, hopefully, real quick, okay?
Yeah.
Been a Cal Ripken, Baltimore Orioles fan my entire life. We good, Dad? We good?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
One of the best stadiums in the country.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I appreciate
Big
that.
fact. We're going to do a little switch.
Yes, sir. Yes,
All right, cool. All right, so Ghost Game, like most of the people from Horror Movies Uncut, they've already got an idea of what's going on with Ghost Game because right before we came up here, we did a one-on-one interview with Jill. But now talking to you, like, Johnny, I'm curious, tell me a little bit about your initial kind of vibe and feeling once this project was kind of placed in front of you, and how did you come to be a part of the team for Ghost Game?
Okay, yeah, so I worked for a little company out in Frederick, Maryland, Cinematic Productions. And so I've worked with them on and off for about 10 years now.
Mm-hmm.
And we, our buddy who produced this, Carlo Glorioso, who runs Cinematic, he got into a deal with Epic Pictures, who's part of Dread Central.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Big shout out to Mary Beth.
Exactly.
Andrews
Mary Beth
and the fam.
is great. Yes,
also
Mary
producer credits on the film as well.
Yes.
We wish you were here, lady.
Yeah, Mary Beth is great. I love her. And she, so we had a deal with them. We weren't sure how many films we were going to get to do, but we knew we were going to get to at least do a handful. We started kind of strong with Satanic Hispanics and Ed. I got to first AD for Ed for the first time after knowing him for a while, so that was a great
Horror
experience.
Movie Uncut audience, very familiar with that.
Yeah.
We talked to Gigi, Ed, Yo, we talked to everybody. Mike Mendez, big shout out.
It was a great time,
and huge shout out to Mr. Damian Runga, who killed everybody last year with Evil Lurks. You know what I mean?
That was a great experience, and that kind of kicked off coming back from COVID. That kind of kicked off our spur of films. We did 5 films in 2 summers. So Jill's was our 3rd film.
Okay.
Sorry, our 4th film.
Okay.
And so when I got that at that point, that was our biggest, with the same budget, our biggest film yet. So me being the AD, it's my responsibility to start breaking the script down, finding all the elements. What is it going to take to actually make this film a possibility and a reality? So very early on, I was a little worried. I'm not gonna lie. It's a lot. It was like 120 plus scenes when you especially scenes that like people don't even think about. So like all the stuff that were on the screens that you see, like those are scenes that aren't like in the script, but like it's a whole scene that we had to go shoot at, like someone in a shower, like all this kind of stuff that like very quickly we knew that we were gonna need like another unit to help break off. So we hired one of like a great cameraman and DP in and of himself, Seth. He came in and killed it and shot a lot of that like BTS stuff that you see, like the rat, like on the bed, like all that kind of stuff that we needed, that he could kind of go ebb and flow with us. So like if we were upstairs, he'd be shooting some stuff in the basement for us, or back and forth, and that kind of really saved us with time. It
sounds like, from even hearing like Emily Bennett, who stars in the film, talking in the Q&A, you know, and you know, how dare y'all put that beautiful redhead woman in the bathtub laying without no clothes on, first off. You know what I mean? But my biggest thing that I'm like, when you're doing that, it sounds like you guys almost had like 2 films almost being done at the same time, and she kind of mentioned that. It was almost like she didn't want to know really what was going on other times of the films, because there was so much that was just invested on where they were in the particular parts of the film. Was that kind of a common theme throughout the entire shoot, where it was almost like multiple movies being shot at once? It actually very
much was. So especially me and my AD team were responsible for getting the actors kind of to and from set and make sure they're good. So I remember very early on Emily kind of making it a point that she wanted to have a little bit of seclusion when it came to the other like half of the film. Our Ghost Game gang, as we started calling
Ghost Game gang?
Yeah, our Ghost Game gang.
Ghost Game gang.
Yeah.
Where the t-shirts at? Brand that shit, fam.
Yeah.
Always branded.
So we yeah, so very on, I was like, okay, my second, who I love, his name's Lincoln. I was like, look, this is kind of like where we're at. This one.
Oh, you good?
This is kind of where we're at. Like, we always are adapting to each production. You have to. So this is just another thing that we had to adapt to. And I was like, look, let's keep them separate. This is going to be good for the film overall. Let's help make that rift between them. Let's help divide them up.
Right.
So that way, on screen, it helps translate. And that's a lot of things that people don't necessarily recognize when it comes to making films, is how much from the director and then down the line is like an emotional political game. Like, you want to keep people happy, but also at times you want to kind of put them in uncomfortable situations so that way it translates on set. And how much of that do you want to let them know that you're doing versus you kind of just want to test the waters and see like what you can get away with.
Facts.
And yeah, so that's always a beautiful, like, delicate balance. But this was something that very early on, an actor, Emily, came up to me and I was like, you know what, that's beautiful. That's not only am I going to give you what you need, but that's something that's going to help service the film in the long run. So of course, so we helped kind of facilitate a little bit of that divide and kind of kept them separate on purpose, for sure, off camera especially.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
So, I mean, everybody's going to talk about this house, right? And like, look, we live in a real transparent world.
Yeah.
IMDb, Letterboxd. I mean, even walking out of the film, you already have people giving rates, reviews,
of course, yeah.
Whatever the case, man. That's part of the business. You understand this, right? But for a person like me, man, I'm more about what's going on behind the scenes. So when you see a house like that, I'm sorry, that shit's haunted, dog. Like, regardless on if you believe in ghosts or if you don't believe in ghosts, you step inside of a house like that, you're in a place, you guys are putting work in, you guys are bringing your own energy into a house like that. Talk to me real quick about some challenges. And you and I would love for you to kind of talk about what you and I talked about with Kia.
Of course,
and some of the challenges that even that beautiful, Kia, if you can hear me, beautiful black woman.
Right? She's fucking amazing.
Yeah, awesome job in the film. So tell me some of the challenges that you deal with a house of that structure, a house of that magnitude, and like, in real talk, man, did you feel anything while you guys were in there? Did you guys actually feel like possibly you were being watched? Did you feel like there may have been some actual true ghost activity going on in that house?
The most like that I felt personally like kind of eared out and creepy was when we were doing like the location scouts before kind of the madness started.
Right.
Because very quickly, once like we're filming, especially for me, I'm so stressed about making our day that kind of like, if there's a ghost, I ain't even looking anyway. You know what I mean? I've got my head.
He's like, I don't want to know what the fuck is over there.
Like, unless you got something that
everybody's looking there, you're like, I'm not looking there, dog.
Yeah. So unless the ghost has some helpful advice, then it can kind of sit down. But no, very early on, I know there's a funny a clip that Jill took of us, kind of our first night. We went out just to see. It was a full moon. We kind of wanted to get like a sense of what it would look like at night.
Oh, y'all set tripping, man.
So
y'all out here playing with some stuff you don't understand,
exactly.
Johnny.
So I took her out there, and we went back the next day, and we just wanted to see like if anything had changed, especially in that basement. And we walked around back, and the basement door it was locked previously, and now it was ajar, and it was like, damn, that's creepy. Like somebody. Whatever it was, even if it was like someone without a home going in there, it's still like, it's eerie to know that someone or something was there that like you were just there a couple hours before.
Right.
So that was always kind of sketchy. Yeah, and for me, I was often the one that would get there early and close up late. So I'm locking the place up by myself. Like, let me tell you, even if there's still people there, being at that tower, or like on the third floor, and people are down, like, that's a lot of stairs to take. You know, what I mean?
Man,
like, it's a distance, and it's
a massive house, massive structure. It's one of the things that I talked about with Jill in the interview, that it creates its own character of itself in the film. Okay, so when you're wrapping up a movie like this, and everybody's finally kind of getting everything that they need situated, when you guys kind of 3, 2, 1 break, what's the next job you have to do? Because I know, you know, normally actors, actresses, they move on to their next project. And a lot of times, even the filmmakers, the DPs, they already got their next contracted project. But for the guys like you who are the ones kind of creating the projects and finding the next ones to work on, like what was the thing that you did? Or did you just say, you know what, man, I'm about to just go back to the crib, kick my feet up for a couple days, or was it just straight back to grind mode?
It's definitely, especially on these lower budgets, we tend to wear a lot of hats. So I'm one of the earliest people on a project, and then one of the last ones to leave a project as well. And so right after, we start doing cleanup. I mean, this is somebody's home that they had bought, and we're planning to restore, so we kind of had a little bit of a window that they were allowing us to be in there. So we wanted to treat everything respectfully and take care of the house as much as possible. So as soon as we were done, we were loading out. We put so much, like, art department killed it in there. All those spider webs, all that stuff that made it look old. The house didn't look old walking in. Like, they had shampooed the carpets and everything. And then we went back in and made it look old again.
Oh, man, that's crazy.
Yeah, so art department, Jen Davis and her partner, they absolutely.
Well, I'm sure that's kind of okay, though, because at least the house is safe enough for you guys to work in.
Exactly.
And then you can just make the shit look terrifying.
Exactly.
Instead of it actually being terrifying as fuck.
It was a clean mess. Yeah, exactly. We didn't have our actors actually going through spider webs.
Right.
Creepy tunnels.
Right.
But no, even like that stuff in the wall, like where our characters going behind the wall, like we shot that in the shed that you see eventually, like all the cameras are set up.
Right, yeah.
Like we had a wall facade that we shot all that in just to make sure everything was like extra safe.
That's what's up.
Because it is an old house. We don't want any kind of mistakes, just in case, you know.
That's what's up. Yeah. Johnny, man, I appreciate your time, bro. You know, we can sit here and chat about this stuff. We here. How much longer are you here at the festival? And is there anything that you're like excited also to see yourself? What
so
you
I saw
got?
Simon Barrett's film last night.
Azrael. We posted a review for it. What'd you think, man?
I loved it, dude. It was definitely it's one hell of a ride.
Isn't it crazy that those motherfuckers are also making Godzilla, King Kong movies?
Right, exactly.
It's like, what the fuck? Like, does that mean we old now, dog?
Yeah.
Because I'm sitting there talking to you know, homeboy Doug Wick in town.
Yeah.
I'm sitting there talking to him, and I'm like, wait a minute. The dudes who we were all kicking it with watching Your Next years and years ago are now making fucking Godzilla movies and shit, but they're still making films like Azrael, man. Is that what you do this for? Is that why you still do? Is that why you're in this?
Of course, man. Yeah, like, here's the thing. Especially these low budget films, like, if you don't still have the love for the craft and for filmmaking as a whole, like, you're gonna fade out quick because it's hard. Like, it is hard to make any film of any size, but these shoestring budget films are definitely a challenge. So if you're not in it for the love, then you're not going to be in it for long.
I think another thing that's dope too is we got all these like alpha hardcore ass women out there that want to be in some badass shit.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I know they talked about last night was how Weaving was like, I want to be in horror films, and then you see a girl like how you guys got Emily. She's already been in a few horror films that I watch. I want to see Kia and more stuff.
Kia is so good.
Like, I think that helps tremendously because these women, I mean, even somebody at the top of the food chain like a Sydney Sweeney doing Immaculate and shit, these women want to be in these films.
Yeah, it puts
and I
them
think
in,
that
like,
actually
roles of power.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
okay.
Like, it's one of the few genres where like women can, like, everyone loves the last girl. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of become like a little bit of a cliche in the genre. But
the
like,
final girl is now the
final
final piece of everything in the film.
Yeah, like, it's great though, because like horror tends to be like the female's action role.
Right.
So like that's where they get to be badasses.
Right.
Where they get to fight back and say like,
we ain't trying to say that when they playing mamas and shit in movies, they ain't also being badass.
Exactly, yeah.
We ain't trying to say that. Don't come after my boy.
Exactly.
Don't come after my boy.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, like, they get to be the action star that like we got to grow up with, like Schwarzenegger, and, like all those types of people were.
Hey man,
Rambo,
I tell people though, Cynthia Rothrock was a huge inspiration for me in the fighting world. You know that, and she's still teaching kung fu classes and stuff right now. Bridget Nielsen's, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So it's great to see, especially bigger stars like still want to do horror because it's something that horror already is a gateway for women to kind of get in and kind of flex their muscles, especially.
And we know the dudes want to do it. We all dudes always want to be in horror movies.
We want to be in bloody stuff.
Right, of course.
It's cool,
right, exactly.
But like for them to get to like for part of the genre to automatically put women in a role of power is so great, and then you have women who have kind of exceeded that and are now willing to step back in and stay in that horror realm and be like champions of the role, and they want other aspiring actresses to kind of do the same. It's awesome, dude.
And it's great because like guys like you, Eduardo, oh God, what's my homeboy's name? Little short bald head guy, does all the VHS films. He's the East Coast dude too. My bad. I'll edit this and put it back in there.
Put it in there.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's nice to see that these women are also y'all homies, and y'all are helping. Like you guys are opening doors for them. You guys are also helping make sure they're getting their films financed. The shit that you guys know is like the hardest things to do in this industry. It's legit because now it's starting to become a lot more family oriented and not so much just like the boys club.
Of course,
and I feel like we do need that shit these days.
Yeah,
so.
Man, it's great. And Ghost
in
Game
front, behind. I mean, you guys have it in front of the scenes, behind the scenes, and
this
surrounding.
This was actually my first time working with a female director, so that was like a whole new aspect
that's beautiful, man.
Dive into, but it was a great fucking opportunity to kind of sit back and be like, what do you need, and how can I help create your vision? And just the way that's translated differently is it opened up my whole world on how to also translate better to my actors and my crew and shit like that.
Big facts.
It's a beautiful thing, man. I wish I worked for more female directors.
That's what's up, man. Well, hopefully we'll see you working with some more in the future here, bro. Yeah. Johnny, I appreciate you, man. Last question I always give, and I don't care what anybody says. I'm the first person to ask this question in the industry. What's one thing you really, really hope people take away after they get finished seeing Ghost Game?
Careful what you wish for, man.
Yeah, man. Damn, I love that.
Because I think every character is kind of wishing for something different.
Right.
And they kind of all get it or don't get it in some pretty gruesome ways.
That's what's up, bro.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man. Black women, go see this movie.
Yeah.
You need to.
Kia.
Go support Kia. Support Jill.
Girl.
Support everybody in this film.
Yes.
Johnny, appreciate you, fam. Be talking to you on the next one, I'm sure, my dude.
Yes, sir.